He was young, he was bold, and in 1997 he became the youngest British Prime Minister since 1812. Loved by many, criticized by more, his decisions shaped the world. This is the rise, reign, and reckoning of Tony Blair. Welcome to Stive Forward, where we dive into the lives of world leaders and untold legacies. Today we follow the journey of a man who rebranded a party, redefined a nation, and stood at the crossroads of war and peace. The beginning, a quiet storm. Anthony Charles Linton Blair was born on May 6, 1953, in Edinburgh, Scotland. His father, Leo Blair, a barrister and academic, had dreams of political office himself, dreams that would pass on to his son. As a child, Tony moved from Scotland to England, eventually attending the elite Fettes College, often called the Eton of the North. There he wasn't the brightest, but he was charming, determined, and endlessly persuasive. Later, at Oxford University, he studied law. But it wasn't the courtroom he was drawn to. It was the grand stage of politics, entering the arena. In 1983, Tony Blair was elected as Member of Parliament for Sedgefield. The UK was under Margaret Thatcher's iron rule, and the Labour Party was struggling, fractured, and outdated. But Blair was different, young, media-savvy, and forward-thinking. He was the fresh face of a future Labour. The rise of New Labour. After the sudden death of party leader John Smith in 1994, Blair took over the reins. He promised change, not just in policies, but in the party's soul. He erased the old socialist Clause 4 and introduced New Labour, a centrist, modern movement that married market economics with social justice. The British public listened, and in 1997, they roared. The Prime Minister, a decade of power. Labour won in a landslide. Tony Blair became the Prime Minister at just 43 years old. His government invested in healthcare, education, and the minimum wage. The economy thrived and Britain embraced a new political era. Bold, global, confident. But with power came pressure. September 11th and the War on Terror. Then came September 11th. The world changed overnight, and so did Tony Blair. He stood firmly by America's side. In 2003, Blair backed President George W. Bush in the invasion of Iraq, claiming Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. But the weapons were never found, and Blair's popularity plummeted. The fall and aftermath. By 2007, Blair's legacy was tangled in controversy. He stepped down, handing over power to Gordon Brown. But Tony Blair didn't disappear. He became a global diplomat, a speaker, and a founder of the Tony Blair Institute, dedicated to governance, education, and counter-extremism. The man, the myth, the legacy. Was he a visionary reformer or a misguided warmonger? Even today, the world is split. But one thing is certain, Tony Blair reshaped British politics and left behind a legacy that refuses to fade.